second. We are live. Yay, we're live. We survived. We survived the snow. We survived the spring and the summer. And we're surviving. Hi. So, Yevgenia Nayberg, whom I can call Zhenya because you're my friend.
That's
and
right.
I'm honored to have you back again. I have to introduce the show before I forget. I'm so excited. I'm Mel Rosenberg, everybody, and welcome to the Children's Literature Channel of the New Books Network, which I am lucky to host. Actually, I'm not so lucky. I founded the channel, and nobody else wants to do it. And I'm here with the illustrious, the amazing, the Atlichna, the Maladiets, author-illustrator Yevgenia Zhenya Nayberg, who's celebrating 2 books, not 1. Jeez, you are productive. So, Zhenya, tell us about your brand new books, and then we'll choose one. Maybe we'll pick both of them.
Okay. Well, my latest came out on Tuesday, and it's a picture
Yes.
book, yes, called Another Tongue. I have it here, surprisingly.
Incredibly.
Yeah, incredibly, by chance. And I have a graphic novel that came out in April, and it's called Chernobyl, Life and Other Disasters. So 2 books this year.
Incredibly. And you have another one coming out in February.
I have another one called Not So Superhero, but that's going to be 2027, not too soon. I still have a little time.
We should be so well. We can have another interview then, you know.
Sure.
Nobody's going to shoot me. And I might convince you to become a co-host someday.
We can try.
Yeah, I mean, you have all of the abilities. You have the hair, which I don't, and you're a real superhero. Let's talk about Another Tongue. A few words about this incredible book. I should say that all your books, these recent ones, are all published by the incredible Neal Porter at Holiday House, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Like
And
you're big time, Shania. You're big time.
yeah, I got pretty lucky with Neal Porter as a publisher, with Taylor Norman, the new editorial director. They've been all really great. It's been a fantastic experience working with them. Really, really,
I,
really
I,
nice.
I, I don't know, Lucky. You've won numerous awards and prizes and starred reviews. Oh, I'm talking too much. Get out your book. Show everybody your new book, Another Tongue.
Well, so I don't know how to show the whole book, but that's the book. I'm very happy with the case of this book. So because not many people look at the cases, I just want to show the case because it's just such a nice surprise.
I've been waiting for that moment because I knew you were hiding something under the
Yeah,
flaps there.
always check under the jacket because
Show us again. Show us again. Take off the jacket.
take off the jacket. There you go.
Wow.
So
Gorgeous.
just like learning a language, you know,
Yeah.
it's
And
one
the
stripe
end
is
page,
white, one stripe is black.
and then the end pages, and then read
The
to us a
end
little bit.
papers, yeah. So you have a Cyrillic end papers, and then you have a Latin or English, you can say, end papers.
And now's the time to talk about the book and to show a few spreads and to read from it.
Oh, you want me to read?
No, I want you to talk about the book first, where the idea came from.
I don't like reading my books aloud, but I can show you some spreads. I don't know how to center them. I don't know what you can see.
Okay, I can read. This is your tongue.
Here you go.
This is my mother's tongue. You want me to read? Continue. The first language you learn is also called a mother tongue.
All right. Well, we're probably not going to read the whole book, right? Let's move on to this.
Yes. Incredible.
And that, I guess we shouldn't spoil the ending, right?
No, we shouldn't spoil the ending. Listen, everybody, this is a gorgeous book. It's gorgeous, it's artistic, it's eloquent, and I love it. I love it. So where did the idea come from? A mother tongue, another tongue. And how did you manage to convey this? Because most American children, they have a mother tongue, but they don't have another tongue.
Right. I remember talking to a girl and she said, I don't speak Russian, I speak plain, because she really was unfamiliar with the concept of multiple languages. But I am, of course, familiar because I had to experience learning another tongue, not as a child, as an adult. Well, I grew up bilingual with Russian and Ukrainian, but those are similar languages, and growing within the culture of two languages is different than learning a completely different one, as you know. And I guess I've always had this love-hate relationship with English because, it's not my language. I'm not the same person when I speak English. I don't think in English, I think in Russian. It's a very complicated mixture of who you are and how you identify and how a language forms you and influences you. So all of these are not necessarily children's topics, but they do affect a lot of children that move from a country to country. And I would really like for the children to feel that whatever they experience is normal, it's okay. A lot of people experience that, but also to give them hope that eventually things will work out. I thought things would work out much faster than they did. I thought it would only take me a couple of months to learn English, and it took me years to learn English. And I'm still learning, I think, but I just want people to feel hopeful, but also I think for people who are unfamiliar with the concept to have an idea what others feel like when they have to learn your language. It's not an easy journey.
I love the spread with the Vampire State Building.
Hmm. That's
Is this
actually
is it
right.
is this a true mistake, or you made that up now?
No, it was a true mistake. My son said Vampire State Building, and my son was born in America. So, but because he grew up in a Russian household and his first language was Russian, a lot of English that he absorbed a little later was also, it was a second language for him as well. So it was really fun mistake. And, I wrote down things that he said, not necessarily in English and Russian as well, just the weird, funny things children say. My mother used to, take notes when I spoke as I was learning to speak. And I did the same for my kids. And that was one of the things that I wrote. So, yeah, they became useful. So, and, of
Can you
course, everyone's favorite spread.
yeah, so can you show us the spread? Because
Yeah.
you're also the illustrator, of course. I get two interviews for one every time I talk to you. Yeah, welcome to the Vampire State Building.
And of course, there is like a little nod to my favorite Saul Steinberg and his depictions of New York, which I usually try to stuff into all of my New York books.
Well done. So, what I want to talk about, because okay, so we've talked already about languages, and before I go to another language, eh, I I wrote for a period. I left Canada when I was 17, and I lived near Tel Aviv, and for many years I wrote children's books in Hebrew. And then I realized that, like you say, it's a different me. When I started writing the books in English, it's a different kid talking. And you have the same experience?
Yeah. And not just when I write, just when I speak, I have the same experience. I think it's very normal. We are slightly different people in every language.
No, but I mean, we had this Razgovor last year. When we write, we're writing to our child, and in your books, there's all the time there's this dialogue with the big Yevgenia and little Genia. Um, but you write your books in English or in Russian?
I write my books in English because English is structured differently. If I were to write a book for a Russian publisher, obviously I would think in Russian and I would write in Russian. I guess I still think about a concept in Russian, but the moment I begin to write, I have to switch to English. English is just, like I said, a language informs the way you think as well. So I have to account for that. I have to think in English in order to write in English because it's very
Hmm.
different.
So
Aside from that,
yeah, but I would like to know what would happen if you wrote a story in Russian. And the reason I'm saying this is now you can correct me because I'm more often wrong than right. But now that I'm looking back at your wonderful books, and I know quite a few of them by now, it is uh, Yevgenia who's moved to the States, looking back at the quirks of little Zhenya living in Kiev. Um, and maybe that's a good reason for writing in English. What would happen if you wrote a story from your inner child, forgetting about America, just in Russian? What would that look like?
it'll probably look very similar. Russian sentences are longer. The way we write and express ourselves is less succinct, I think. And there's just a Russian literary tradition. I kind of like to write when I write in Russian using sort of this English way of writing, which is very precise and a little shorter. I really enjoy that because I think it gives my Russian writing a certain flair. So I might employ that, or I might not do it altogether. If I were to write a memoir, let's say in Russian, I think I would try to stick to what I know to sound more authentic and true to the way I used to speak or I normally speak when I speak Russian. But also, it's an interesting trick. I don't usually employ, I think, my Russian way of thinking when I write, but maybe I do subconsciously, but I don't make an effort to sound Russian when I write in English.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking as an упражнение, because what happened, like with my book with Emily Saw a Door, is that I wrote it in English, and then it got published in Hebrew, so I had to fix it for the Hebrew publisher. And my Hebrew had to be translated to Hebrew. And but then it came out of the States and I had to retranslate it back into English. And actually, when that happened, the text improved a lot because I had these filters, of the different cultures. So just as a thought exercise, which brings me to my next question, which is something that troubles me. Well, that troubles me in a good way. How do the two languages work for you as an author illustrator? I do not know how to illustrate anything, and you are one of the best illustrators in the whole world. How does this work for you? Could you explain this to me? If you were to write, if you would explain to me how this interaction between the two languages of the art and the text.
Well, that's very easy. For me as an illustrator, it's very easy because I've been doing it for so long. And I I'm not even worried about it. I was just talking to my mom actually, who is an illustrator and an artist, about my next possible book and about the issues that I have with the manuscript and some problems I need to solve. And she said, "But how are you going to illustrate it?" And I said, "Oh, it's not a problem. I'm going to illustrate it. It's not a problem. When it's my text, I sort of automatically know how to do it. I think a lot of my stories, I mean, I write the stories first, but they come from a visual place, so it's very easy to reach that space and grab it. I don't have any trouble with that. Maybe something very technical, the ratio of the width to length of the page, something like that, a gutter, but never conceptually. I find it very easy. Writing is a little more difficult because, I'm a young author. I have been writing for about 10 years. So that's where I still struggle. That's where I still need inspiration sometimes, which is to me is the sign of being an amateur still. Because for my work as an illustrator, I don't need inspiration. I can just, roll out of bed and do it. So,
Are you trying to tell me that you have imposter syndrome as an author?
Is this an imposter syndrome? I think it's justified. It just, experience helps you to feel more effortless and relaxed. I'm not there yet. I don't feel super confident every time I start to write. Sometimes I do, but I still
I,
feel a
I,
bit
I
as an amateur. Yeah.
well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Let's talk now a few minutes about Chernobyl, and then we can go back and compare them and sum up, etc., etc. Chernobyl is a completely different kind of children's book, and it's I mean another tongue. Um, I don't know how long it took you to write it, but maybe less than a year. But Chernobyl seems to me it must have taken years to write this book, or am I wrong?
Well, the original draft took about 6 months, and then, of course, editing and illustrating that took much longer. And it's a longer book. It's
100,
145 pages. Yes,
140 pages. Woo!
135. Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that it's easier. A good picture book may take a long time. This one, in other tongue, it was a really quick book. I was just really lucky with this one. I've written some books that were way more torturous and difficult, but another tongue happened really quickly somehow. But I think it's the only book like that I've ever written that was so easy. Um, but Chernobyl was hard because, it's a big undertaking. It's a graphic memoir. There's a lot of text. It's a different type of text. It's written as a screenplay or as a play, with dialogues. It's a very different structure. And also, I had to actually translate because it is a memoir. It's a true story, more or less. And I really had to find a way to translate everything that was said, all the dialogues, to make them sound fluid and natural and non-exotic. So that was a big part of the job.
Can you please show your incredible book to our fascinated readers?
Here you go, fascinated readers. So yeah, it's this is the soft cover version. We have a hardcover as well. So yeah, it's a pretty dense book. It's yeah, a graphic novel is a lot of work, anyone would tell you. So that was pretty interesting, but it was also really cool. It was a fun is not the right word, but a very rewarding, exciting project.
Is there some catharsis involved in telling your story and in sharing some intimate things about your life with the public?
Good question. I don't know if it's a catharsis necessarily, but it was interesting to examine my relationships with my family now that I'm also a mother and an adult. I think it's a very interesting situation. And now I feel that my characters sort of became the real people and the real people became characters. So it became a little mixed up. I was talking to my stepdad on the phone and he was congratulating me and on something. And the words that he used, I thought, he speaks just like Leon, which is the character from my book. And then I realized, oh, wait, but he is Leon. He is the character. So the kind of tricks this book played on my memory and my brain is quite remarkable for myself. I don't know about the public. For the public, it's really strange that now there are strangers that know so much about me and people that quote me because they know me. It's a very strange feeling.
Can you show us a couple of spreads from your book, please? And maybe read if you feel like it.
Sure. So I don't know. This is one of the earlier spreads. So I'm gonna read it. That is me at 5. I have a boy's name, pants, and short hair. Why do you have a boy's name? Are you a boy? I'm tired of explaining myself. So she goes to her mother. I want a girl's name, a dress, and long hair. Oh, please, don't be banal. I want to be banal.
Incredible. Is there a word for banal in Russian?
Банальный?
Banalny?
Mhm.
Хорошо. So this is incredible. You started out, if I'm not mistaken, also designing and doing artwork for sets and for movies and for theater.
For
Correct me
theater,
if I'm wrong.
for theater,
And
yeah.
how did this impact, if at all, illustrations for this particular book, which is a kind of more, I don't know, theatrical, perhaps, in my mind.
It's all the same. It's the same language. You know, you deal with space and you deal with time, and you have to control both in theater and in books. I think with something like a graphic novel, you see it a little better than in a picture book because you can really control the pacing of it, just like you have to do in theater, especially, let's say, in opera, where the changes of scenery, so to speak roughly, you know, you have to time it to an aria, for example. And it works very similarly with the graphic novel because sometimes you want to speed things up or you want to slow things down based on what's going on, but also you want to change the mood sometimes very drastically. It also happens in picture books, but just because a graphic novel is just a longer form, you get to do it many times. And you can show a passage of time, for example, without words. So you can have those wordless spreads that can work really beautifully, and words that are, or spreads that are just empty, which could give you a certain pause. So you can really, really control the narrative visually. So it's very similar to theater, for sure.
And also, it's similar to animation. I can see this as a an animated
And
movie.
more so because, you know, it's frames. Yes, of course.
And the other thing I really like about it is that you have this little girl who's trying to get into art school. Her big dream is to be an artist, and in the backdrop of this, um, what's getting in her way is this huge global accident, disaster, and you've played so well between the global, you know, the massive event of Chernobyl and this little girl who doesn't really understand exactly what radioactivity is and what's going on and has to leave Kiev and I love this interplay.
But that's the way to do it. How else can you do it? It's the only way to show the world through something small, unless, you know, you're a scientist or a historian who's only concerned with the global impact of things. If you're an author or a reader, you really want to get down at the level of the character. Tolstoy did it the same way. You know, War and Peace is about this huge war, but also about, you know, the little
But
lives.
yeah, so this is a classic Russian or Ukrainian Slavic a story in my mind. There's a classic touch to it, and more so that the smaller the life of the main character in a sense, and the bigger the cataclysm that the world is going through, the better it seems to work.
Well, a contrast, you know, contrast works great. You know, everybody knows that. Hollywood knows it. Writers know it. You know, you have to have a contrast. You have to have contrast to make it interesting. So yeah, of course it works.
What
That's how you
what
build.
what one of my favorite parts of the book is when I don't remember who it is, somebody in your family. There's radioactivity in the apartment, and they go around with a Geiger counter, and they find that the radioactivity is in the braid that you kept when your hair had to be cut. Is this all true?
Yeah, it's all true.
What a great story!
I think what's funny about it is not that I kept my braid, is that my parents allowed me to keep my braid. So you would think if you had this radioactive braid, you should get rid of it, but that didn't occur to them. As long as it wasn't attached to my scalp, I guess it was okay to keep. So it's also interesting how people perceived radiation, how much they knew or understood, which was very little, of course.
And even less for a young girl, and you've done this so well.
Yeah.
Um, so what I want to ask you now is a very jealous question. Um, as an author, I get to know incredible artists such as yourself. And then I have a dream. I mean, you have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream of someday having Yevgenia Nayberg illustrate one of my stories. That's the dream. I'm allowed to dream.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
Well, thank you. But are you ever going to go back to illustrating other people's stories?
Sure, if I love a story, absolutely. Definitely.
That's good news for everybody else.
I have to love the story though. I have to be honest. I really have to connect to the story. So, but yeah, but I read everything that comes my way, whatever editors, publishers send me, I read everything.
It's good news. So can you tell us a little bit about your new book that's coming out, or it's premature? Just a few words.
Well, it's all done. So it's called Not So Superhero, and it's about a child whose parents think that he must become a superhero. And they encourage him to go out and perform all these heroic tasks, but he's really not up to it. But he doesn't want to disappoint his parents, so he's trying and failing multiple times. So that's the gist of it.
Wow. We're gonna have to have another interview.
Sure.
There's no there's no way out of it. We don't have any other choice here.
I know it's hard.
One of the books that you haven't written, correct me if I'm wrong. You have a book about the old typewriter, which I love. You have a book. I'm talking about the ones that I have and know and love. I Hate Borscht, which is a classic, and Your Party for
Chlorine.
yeah, which is amazing. What else do I have of yours? You don't have a book about, or maybe you do. Do you have a book? And you have the book about being left-handed.
Yeah, and
Anya's
Mona
Secret.
Lisa. Mhm.
Yes, Anya's Secret Society, which is incredible. Anya being you.
Sort of me, less me than Zhenya in Chernobyl, but yeah.
Okay. Do you have a book about names?
About names, no, I don't have, no.
So I'm going to suggest here that you have something very powerful in this Yevgenia, a one language, another language, author, illustrator. I mean, you could have continued to be this incredible artist, and for some reason, 10 years ago, you started writing incredible books too. How did this happen? Did you just wake up and you can say, "Oh, I can write a better text than that Raskavor
I
story
wish.
or whatever"?
No, it was my then agent, Anna Wolfwanger, who suggested that I write
Anna,
my own.
Anna, yeah.
So, and I thought, no, I can't. I can't write in English. I can't write. Well, I didn't think I couldn't write. I was writing little bits of texts in Russian exclusively, and I thought there is no way. But I managed.
What was
And
your
then it
first
was
book?
sort of, yeah, it was my first book, Anya's Secret Society. That was about, yeah, 10 years ago or so. Yeah. So, and then it was kind of hard to go back because now I can choose what to illustrate, which is whatever I want to write. It's a very nice selfish position.
So what dreams have you came here, I'm here, I'm sitting in Israel. I think I'm in New York in the snow. So you came to the States when you were about 19?
Mhm. Yep.
Um, if you came for high school, you'd be American. You came when you were 19, when you were already what I call baked as a human being.
Yeah,
And and
definitely.
and I think that if we spoke to 19-year-old Jenny and we said, um, you are going to be in a couple of years a world famous author illustrator, prize winning, um, phenomenon, because I think you are. Um, You should be very happy with your career in America.
Are you asking me or are you asking a 19-year-old? That's two different people.
That's exactly my question. I mean, I hope that you are very satisfied with your career right now. And if you told a 19-year-old you, Zhenya, what would she say? She wouldn't say bloody incredible because she didn't say that in those days. What would she say?
Hmm.
Молодец, молодец, отлично.
I don't know. I think she probably wouldn't say that. I think she would just take it in stride and think, of course, what else? Or maybe, I used to think about Picasso when I was 15 or 16 and think, okay, so he went through his blue period when he was 23. So I thought, well, okay, I still have 8 or so years to go, and 8 years is a long time. And for sure, by the time I'm 23, I'm going to be just as good or hopefully better than Picasso. So imagine my surprise when I turned 23 and I wasn't nearly as good. So it's hard to say whether I would be grateful or excited if today's me showed up and said, "Oh, you're going to be this amazing illustrator." I would probably say, "Sure, but what about Picasso? I still have 4 more years."
Well, you could think about Mozart, who's been dead for 20 already, you see. So
There you go. I can always, there is always consider the alternative. True.
exactly, exactly. No, I think that you should be extremely proud of yourself. So other than be Picasso, what haven't you done? What is the dream? Like my 50-year-old dream was to publish a children's book in the States. And it literally took me 50 years. What is your dream that's not going to take you 50 years? What haven't you done?
I think I would like to art direct an animation project, but something a little bigger than a little tiny projects, little animation project that I've done in the past, but something a little more substantial. That would be nice, I think. I don't know if it's my dream. I'm pretty happy where I am right now. So, but it would be something that I haven't really done on the scale that I would like to do it. So,
Okay.
yeah, there you
So
go.
we
I
have.
just had to make something up.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you before I ask you for some tips for writers and illustrators?
Oh, I don't know. You've asked a lot of questions. I hope I gave you all the
That's
correct
my
answer.
that's my job. What advice do you have? Uh, um, you're drawing from your youth, 10,000 miles away, different era, different culture, the Soviet version of the Ukraine in the 80s. Um, what can you say to young people today? What should they do to succeed?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I was a pretty miserable young person. I don't really have an answer that's not going to be platitude. So, I don't have an answer. I would like to say,
You,
oh,
you why
yes.
was it you were a miserable young kid?
Yeah, I'm a regular person with, yeah, definitely a lot of misery baked in for sure. So I don't have an answer. The only answer that I give or advice that I give my students, where I teach my illustration students, that I just tell them try not to be profound, because I remember that when I was young, I really wanted to say everything that was boiling inside of me. And I really wanted to show it all and explain everything that was happening within me and how deep I was and how profound I was. And now, of course, the older I get, the less profound I want to be. I just want to be funny. I want to be light. I don't need all that weight anymore. So I give them this advice, but I don't know if they're going to take it. It may take just some time for them also to become less and less profound with age.
So is it a matter of not taking yourself too seriously?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I think it just we have such a wild emotional inner life as young people, obviously as at any age, but I think the young people really don't understand that what they experience is very common, and they feel that, if they share it, it's going to be very, very special. But a lot of it is not special. A lot of it is just normal. And I think once you embrace the fact that you're ordinary and normal and what you feel is shared with so many, I think the faster you do it, the better it is for your writing and for your art in general, and maybe for your well-being overall.
I think that we've just received the best window on your work somehow. And that is that you've taken this light and fluffy way of looking at your life, at your youth, um, somehow not taking it all too seriously, even though perhaps when you were young it seemed serious, and now looking at it from a lens of several decades, and you've gone back and said, it wasn't, this whole thing about hating borscht was no big deal. It's not so bad after all. This thing about speaking two languages, not so bad after all. You can learn. Um, and I think that now gives me a little perspective on your tremendous authorship.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Yevgenia Nayberg, we have to go. It's been wonderful interviewing you again. It was great bumping into you in February in the snow in New York. And I can't wait until we meet again. And keep writing books so that I will be able to interview you.
Thank you, Mel, and congratulations on the successes of your book. It's really exciting to follow that.
I am very lucky. You are gifted. I'm lucky. Uh, and I have a great illustrator too, you see.
That's true.
Um,
No, she's fantastic.
Orit Magia. And so before we sign off, and I want to just shout out to our dear friend Jennifer Bird, who introduced us in the first place. So thank you, Jennifer. And I'm Mel Rosenberg, still the host of the Children's Literature Network for the New Books Network. The Children's. How many times am I going to get this wrong in my life? What am I? I'm the host of the. Why can't, I should write it down. I should say it in Russian. Я очень рад to be the host of the Children's Literature Network of the channel of the New Books Network. And I've been here with Yevgenia Nayberg, Zhenya, celebrating two new books, one from 2 days ago. Hold it up, please. Another tongue, please. Пожалуйста. Woo! Incredible book. Run out and buy this one. It's funny and it's moving. And Chernobyl, which is not only Chernobyl, it's Chernobyl, Life and Other Disasters, which came out in April, which is another opus. Time to hold it up, Jenya. Okay, and one coming out in February. All of them published by Neal Porter, and wonderful imprint of Holiday House. And it's been great seeing you, and wish you all the best of luck, and a wonderful year until we meet again.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me again.
And to everybody else, read about Zhenya Yevgenia, buy her books. They're incredible. They are real art. Real art.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. I might have been too nice, but you deserve it.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, dear.